You may be at a point where your credit score is potentially on the lower end, or you have some things reporting on your credit report, but you're not quite sure what they are. Potentially you've wondered whether it makes sense to speak with a credit repair company or whether maybe you're able to just do something yourself. And finally, you've potentially even considered whether or not it makes sense to try to file disputes on your credit report. But is it worth it? Well, let's talk about it. Welcome to the Ascend Finance channel. My name is Justin, and today we're going to cover 1, when does it make sense to file a dispute? 2, debt validation programs. 3, I want to talk about how do you file a dispute, and then 4, I'm going to give you an example of how to take action, right? What does it look like to start taking action? Okay, so one thing I do want to say that if this video ends up being helpful, we would actually super appreciate a like and subscribe, as we're constantly trying to put out more videos that can ideally help people get out of debt cheaper, easier, and faster by making the most informed decision. Stick around till the end as I will explain what it looks like to actually take action. And a little sneak preview, I'll cover a free credit rebuilding resource that you can use to keep track of your credit and even more. So keeping that in mind that this was made though for informational purposes only and should not be construed as advice. So let's dive into when it may make sense to file a dispute. First, if there's incorrect identifying information. So what does that mean, right? Is your information incorrect on your credit report? Whether it's your legal name, it's your address, your phone number, or something else, if the information is incorrect, you may want to consider potentially filing a dispute. The odds of something being incorrectly attributed to you because of incorrect information may not be astronomical, right? But it's certainly a possibility. Second, accounts incorrectly reported. Every time you open up a credit-based account, the account is generally going to be added to your credit report, right? There are a few ways your accounts may be incorrectly reported though. So for instance, if you close an account, but it still shows as an open account on your report, well, you may want to file a dispute on that. Potentially, right? It's also true if you have an account that shows you have a delinquent payment even though you don't. Here's a few other reasons you may want to consider filing a dispute for an incorrect account. 1, an account with an incorrect balance. So the balance is not accurate. The second thing could be the debt limit, right? The actual credit limit, the debt limit is incorrect. Also, an account that's incorrectly attributed to you, right? Okay, third thing would be identity theft. So if your identity was stolen, it is likely the stolen information was potentially used to create an account with credit cards, right? So luckily most states, it just depends, may not hold you liable for any of the debt that's occurred for, the fraudulent behavior, for instance, identity theft. However, if you see that an account or debt is listed on your credit report that was obtained as a result of having your identity stolen, you may be able to actually send in a dispute and have that removed. Fourth, duplication or re-addition of information. So if you see the same credit line reported twice, you may want to consider filing a dispute. Potentially, it's up to you, right? But while this may not be disastrous, it's generally not great. Getting the duplicate information off your credit report may help ensure a more accurate score and protect you from any dings, right? So you may also want to actually regularly check your credit report after you've had incorrect information removed. While it's not really that common, there have been instances of removed information being found again at a later date. Because of this, it may make sense for you to regularly check your report. Finally, just keep in mind that this is not like an exhaustive list of reasons to file a dispute. It's just a few things that I wanted to mention today. Okay, so now that we've actually covered sometimes it may make sense to dispute a debt, let's chat through debt validation programs and how those actually tie into all this. First, I will say that we actually go into way more detail on this in another video, but today we'll stay high level. I just want to kind of cover what debt validation companies or what debt validation programs are and how they're relevant to this whole conversation. So over time, I've actually received more and more phone calls from people sharing that they've been in this debt validation program. As they've explained it, it almost sounded like they were under the impression they've been signed up for a debt settlement program. However, a debt settlement program and a debt validation program are actually very different. So let's break that down. A debt settlement program is the process of settling past due debt for pennies on the dollar, right? So oftentimes companies will try to sell people on this type of program to people that may actually shouldn't even have signed up for it. Hence, there's actually a lot of bad press behind it. However, I do believe that there's a time and place for this. So if you're curious, you can give me a call at 833-272-3631. You can ask for Justin, me. I'll be happy to chat about your situation and see what may fit. Now let's look at debt validation programs. These are programs where a company may tell you to stop paying on the debt while they validate the debt and get them removed from your credit report. They then will share that if something happens where the creditor sues you, they will hire an attorney to resolve the debt and get it settled. All right. So here's the thing though. I've noticed that people will pay monthly into these programs, and then once there's actually litigation and the company settles that account, they have to pay on top of what they've been already paying to cover the settlement. So basically, the company just tells them that they have the money they've been paying all this time just actually covers their services. But what really are their services? Like, what are they providing? Well, let's take a look. So from what we understand, and clearly there could be more, but it seems like they send out template dispute letters every few months. Then they hire an attorney for you that you'll actually end up paying for, right? And then they consolidate your payments by having you just make one payment to them, and then you stop paying on all your other debt. So from the looks of it, people are paying thousands of dollars to have them send a validation letter to creditors for the debts that are valid and legitimate. It seems odd. Well, either way, everyone's situation is unique and you know yourself best, but it definitely gives me pause. Well, to wrap up this portion of the video, I will say that there very well could be solid companies offering this where they charge us very small amount of money. They're very transparent about the process. As I don't want to generalize, but I do want to just point out that there are some things that, to consider so folk can be informed and even raise some questions. Alrighty, so finally, I want to cover how to dispute something and what that process actually looks like. Filing an account information dispute is a little loose. If you see something that's incorrect on your credit report, you may be responsible for gathering the proof to back up the claim and writing a letter addressing the issue. For instance, say you see a credit account listed on your report that says you have 2 credit cards open with Chase. If you know that you only have 1 credit card open with Chase, then you may want the second account removed. To do so, you may have to kind of go through this process of requesting Chase to provide you with like a statement saying you only have 1 account, and then you may need to write a letter explaining your dispute and then the resolution you want to see. In this case, the removal of the second account, right? That's the resolution you're looking for. Once you've actually gathered proof and written your letter, you may want to send it to a bureau that has incorrect information on your report. So there's generally going to be 3 main credit reporting bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Whichever bureau has the incorrect information is the bureau you may want to send the letter and proof along to. If each bureau has the same incorrect information, then you may want to send the proof and letter to each bureau. Alternatively, you may also send that dispute to the business that provided the incorrect information. So in our example, you might send this letter to Chase to see if they can revoke the incorrect report. Before I end the video, I mentioned earlier that I wanted to talk about what it looks like to take action. I wanted to use this time to actually walk through our free credit rebuilding portal. You can use the portal to keep track of your progress, explore credit opportunities, to ideally rebuild your credit score. And then also you can look at specific ideas to rebuilding your credit and get all of your questions answered. So you can actually click the link in the description to check it out, as that may be able to help you provide some more insight on rebuilding your credit score. And thankfully, it's just a free resource. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I hope this video was helpful. As I mentioned earlier, if this video was helpful to you, we'd love and appreciate a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions at all, you're more than welcome to call us at 833-272-3631 or leave a comment down below. Take care.